Learning to read can be a privilege, and a Twin Cities startup wants to make sure that everyone has access to that privilege. Our Derek James shows us how the Special Science and Technology program is already being used in some schools.
These 4th and 5th graders in Webster, Wisconsin are reading.
It looks like just like a tiny little list that goes down.
In a whole new way.
Cascade is pretty much kind of diagonal like that. And the words are kind of more spaced out.
Cascade Reading co-founders Mark Lasik and Michael Gorman say it's a new solution to an age-old problem, reading comprehension.
We all can remember as kids that we had to diagram sentences. Well, what we do through Cascade is we do that automatically for you.
The idea that how words are organized is syntax, and what Cascade is doing is making syntax visible and useful for the reader in a way that helps them understand how words are organized and how they relate to one another. So here we are in the traditional format.
The two demonstrated how Cascade provides visual cues for language and memory with a famously long sentence, the preamble to the Constitution.
So what's essentially going on is that we the people do ordain and establish this Constitution with all of these important things that inform what took place there.
The patented text format is built on science from PhDs in linguistics combined with natural language processing technology. It comes as Wisconsin and Minnesota students' reading scores, like many across the country, continue to drop. In 2022, only 33% of students in Wisconsin performed at or above the National Assessment of Education Progress proficient level. In Minnesota, it's 32%, same as the national average.
For me, I knew that it was going to be my last year, and I had always hoped that our school would be like a learning laboratory.
2 years ago, after returning from COVID, 4th and 5th graders at Jenny Keats School in Wauwatosa were part of the first 13-week study of Cascade.
The outcome was that the vast majority of them those students felt, that it did help them improve their reading. The students also felt much more confident about themselves as readers. And I think that's everything.
Administrators and teachers here in Webster are hoping for similar results in fluency and comprehension using Cascade. They're about 4 weeks into the program and already seeing promising signs.
When it's cascaded, the kids seem to look at it, and for some reason it seems shorter to them because it's not chunked and blocked together. It looks less daunting.
I feel like you can understand more and you can read it faster.
So if we can give them little ways to have a little success each day, it's amazing what they can do. And they can start seeing reading not as like a difficult task, but seeing it more as like an adventure.
Lasik and Gorman say additional research into Cascade reading shows enhanced reading comprehension among adults and those learning English for the first time.
While we're focused a lot on challenged readers and the kids that are learning to read, this really is a positive impact, regardless of what your reading capabilities are.
To that end, they've developed a suite of products, including a Chrome browser plugin that allows the user to cascade any text on the internet.
And we think the earlier somebody starts to understand that core structure, the better they will be with the language, with reading, with writing. And so we're excited to see how early and how broadly we could deploy this to help people with mastering the language.
Derek James, WCCO News.
Seniors are more plugged in than ever before. Over the last decade, the number of people over 65 who own smartphones has gone up from 13% to 61%. But often seniors have questions about that technology. Well, now a Minneapolis teenager is teaching them some new tricks. Take a look.
If you click on this, it'll open up all these apps here.
Technology is just one of Graham Bennett's hobbies. The Blake School sophomore is a standout runner with his eye on medical school.
This just shows you all the tabs that you have open.
He also has an eye out for his neighbors. He wanted to know how he could help the senior residents of the Kenwood, so he reached out to an employee.
She said you could be helping with the devices and things like that.
He quickly learned that for some really bright people, the technology that he's native to is foreign to them.
Oh, very cool. It wasn't really taught to us. We had to try and teach ourselves the best we could along the way.
He comes often, deciding to spend weekend mornings as a regular volunteer. Georgia, whose family is in California and New York, is a regular.
How do I do the calls from the computer?
Once you sign in with the Apple ID, then you can FaceTime people.
Graham helped me to get me back in so that I could use my internet and be able to talk to all my family and so forth, because otherwise it was very difficult.
Now she's learned about digital video and how to use editing software.
So a lot of the time when they first come in, they're frustrated about a problem. And then by the time they leave, they're like more curious about what else they can learn.
Monica, whose family's in New York, is learning about storing those family memories.
So you need something that connects to this on one side and connects to the camera on the other side.
He lets you try it and see if you've gotten it. If not, he'll explain it again. He's very patient.
Patient and effective. These clients are now more connected than ever with their long-distance families. And you're helping connect them.
Yeah.
Does that feel good?
Yeah, that feels good.
A big-hearted and tech-savvy teen who knows it's never too late to learn.
And then you can just click on it once.
Susan Elizabeth Littlefield, WCCO News. Jigsaw puzzles can be a great way to slow down, reclaim downtime, and relax. But one Minnesota woman sees them in a different way. Her puzzle speed recently took her overseas to compete on the world's largest stage. Our Derek James learned more about her competitive puzzling while putting her to the test.
From the United States, the Misfits.
The fastest puzzlers in the world.
They are Sarah Schuler.
Just battled it out in Spain at the World Jigsaw Puzzle Championship.
There they are, the silver medalists.
So this is the puzzle room.
How many are we talking in here, do you know?
A lot. More than 500.
This is St. Paul pro puzzler Sarah Schuler.
We've always had puzzles in our family. And then my mom and uncle would compete at the St. Paul Winter Carnival contest.
The pieces started to really come together about 14 years ago when Schuler was just a teenager.
They were like, Sarah, do you want to come be part of the team? And ever since then, I've been competing in puzzle competitions.
After over a decade of competing, she left her IT job for puzzling in 2021.
It's kind of crazy to say that I do jigsaw puzzles full time, but that is my job. I don't compete full time, but I consult with a few different puzzle companies, doing social media, helping them connect with influencers, creating content.
3, 2, 1.
In late September, Schuler and 3 friends spread out across the country, joined forces to enter the World Jigsaw Puzzle Championship for the first time.
It's literally like the Power Rangers of puzzling.
Nice work, you guys.
The team had more go-go power than they expected.
We're all pretty fast, so we knew we would do decently well, but I did not expect to get second place in pairs and teams. Like, that was beyond my wildest dreams.
A popular strategy is to put the edges of the puzzle together first. In competition, someone is usually assigned that task. After that,
you just call out like, hey, I'm seeing these like red birds or this pink flower or this blue sky, and then you kind of just call what you want to do.
I wanted to see the process firsthand, so I brought a puzzle.
Oh my gosh, I haven't even seen this one before.
We're gonna put you on the clock.
We can do that.
Schuler went to work on this 500-piece Halloween puzzle.
Borders, I always sort out, even if I don't plan on doing them first.
Which she thinks she can complete in
45 minutes to 55 minutes.
Even while being peppered with questions. Do you puzzle to music? Do you have...
Yeah, I really like puzzling with audiobooks.
Schuler's fast fingers rarely stop as the image begins to take shape.
I should have been timing myself on this.
Don't worry, I am.
Oh god, perfect.
She pops the final pieces in.
Done.
With a time of...
What do we got?
52:08.
I'll take it.
While it seems frantic, Schuler says it's a case of going fast to slow down.
I think that the adrenaline rush and the like satisfaction of getting that done in such a short amount of time is just so calming for me at the end.
In St. Paul, Derek James, WCCO News.
Still ahead, connected by the job and their brotherhood. See how these local referees are going beyond borders to honor one of their own.